Hey YouTube, it's Marita from the Nurse Lounge, and today we're going to do a question that I have received several times over the past year, and I've addressed it in a few videos, but I think I'll just go ahead and do a dedicated video to this question. So the question is, should I go to Med-Surg first before I go into a specialty that I may be interested in? So if you want to see the answer to this question or what I think, please stay tuned. All right, so we're back. So the question has been asked to me several times, should I go to Med-Surg first? People are always recommending that students always go to Med-Surg first, get them some foundational skills, get them some experience, learn how to prioritize, organize, learn about nursing in itself, learn how to time manage before they go into a specialty. So the question has been asked to me several times, what do I think about that? Now, this video is not research based. This is strictly my opinion and my opinion only. So, govern yourselves accordingly is what I'm saying. When it comes to what I did, I had no desire to be a Med-Surg nurse at all. Med-Surg was never in the cards for me. I was never interested in it. I knew I wanted to do OB right out of nursing school, and that's what I went for. Now, will I say this? If you do not know what you want to do, so you've been through your clinical rotations, you are at the end of your program, and you have no idea, nothing really, stole you in the sense of this is what I really want to do when I finish school. Well, if you feel that way, then yes, Med-Surg is where you need to go to get your foundation so that you can then figure out eventually where you want to go. But for the rest of you all, unless Med-Surg is a requirement to go into something else. So as an example, some people want to be CRNAs, a certified registered nurse and anesthetist. So if you want to be a CRNA, then usually the stepping stone to that is to do some Med-Surg, then to go to ICU or ER ICU, and then eventually go into, well, actually ICU is what you need to do for CRNA, but sometimes Med-Surg is a foundation for ICU. And so some people tend to do that when they want to go that route. But if you are not required to go to Med-Surg first for the area that you want to be in, I personally feel that you should be able just to go into whatever area you want to go to, as long as they're hiring either people who are inexperienced or new grads or whatever it happens to be. So you need to do the research. Do you feel like you want to really go into a specialty right after nursing school? Do you feel like you are so, that you really need to go into the specialty? You really want to be an ER nurse. You really want to be an OB nurse. You really want to be an ICU nurse. If these are things that you are passionate about and you're willing to come in and do the work and learn what needs to be done and listen, then there's nothing wrong with going into a specialty area before going into Med-Surg, in my opinion. I did not go into Med-Surg. I went straight into OB. I have no regrets. I'm 16 years in my profession, my career, and I still have no regrets. Now, I will say this. I do get floated to Med-Surg from time to time, and I do not enjoy it, but it actually humbles me to see how hard Med-Surg nurses actually work. And not to say that we don't work equally as hard in OB, because we do. We don't have techs, where a lot of times Med-Surg nurses or Med-Surg units have techs. We have none on our floor. It just makes me appreciate what I do even more. So what I'm basically saying is, maybe if you feel like you don't know what you want to do, go into Med-Surg. If you do know you want to be a ICU nurse, a ER nurse, a OB nurse, you want to go into L&D, you want to go into nursery, even NICU. These specialties are now allowing students to come in right out of school. My best advice to you is find a facility that has either a nurse residency program or a program in which they will allow you to definitely be in orientation for up to 4+ months, 4 to 6 months. Orientations that only last 1 to 2 months are not doing you any justice as a new nurse. You need an orientation that's going to last at least 4 to 6 months before they let you, and that's the minimum, not a maximum, minimum 4 to 6 months, before they let you on the floor in the specialty. I will say, if they are hiring new grads, they're going to train you to do whatever you need to do on that unit. So don't be fearful of that. Anything that's required to be an OB nurse, L&D nurse, whatever, they're going to send you to trainings. They're going to send you to workshops. They're going to send you to skills fairs. They're going to send you to various things to make sure that you know how to do what you need to do. Now, mind you, it's going to take you some time to get acclimated to a unit such as those units. A lot of times specialty units are just that. They're a specialty, obviously. So when you have a specialty unit, you have to be mindful that with those units, you are specialized at that point. So you are not going to be dealing with people who have, you will have people who have an array of issues, but MedSurg is literally everything. It is the hub. It is the portal of entry, shall I say, into the hospital. Everybody goes to MedSurg. However, if you're going to go into something that's causes more trauma or more whatever, you may go to a step down unit. Maybe the issue is a heart issue, so you go to a cardiac unit. You go to an ICU when it's more critical. You go different places. So if you know what you want to do as a nurse, then definitely find a facility that is going to allow you to come in with limited or no experience, who is going to train you, who gives you a minimum of 4 to 6 months of orientation before they put you on the floor. That way you will be acclimated to what your role is as a nurse in that area. Now, I will say this, that the question was asked in another video, will you lose some of your skills when it comes to what you learn in school? And the answer to that is straight up yes, you will, depending on what you want to focus on. Because every specialty has their own specific things that they do. So ICU, even though I learned things from ICU, in OB, we don't do those things because our patient population doesn't necessitate those types of interventions or care. If they require that care, we send them to the appropriate unit. So be mindful. Yes, you will lose some skills here and there. However, if you know what you want to do as a nurse, that's all that really matters, is you learn what you need to do as a nurse. Again, in OB, I've said this before, we do IVs, we do catheters, we do bladder scans, we do wound care, we do of course, medications. We do take care of patients who have hypertension, who have diabetes, who have thyroid issues, who have mental health issues, who have drug issues. We take care of all those things compounded with a pregnancy or a postpartum period of time where there's a hormone shift and things that we're watching for. Keep in mind, when you come to having a baby specifically, you have that blood volume has increased due to carrying this extra person in you. And then once you have that baby, we still have that volume that the body's trying to thermoregulate in terms of like, okay, we don't need all this extra fluid anymore. Let's get rid of this. So you can have overload in our patients. We have surgery patients because we have C-sections. That is a Med-Surg patient if you think about it. So it's just specialized because it's OB. So I always say, do whatever your passion, whatever your heart tells you to do. Just know that sometimes you will be ridiculed if you did not have Med-Surg experience. I have been ridiculed for not having Med-Surg experience. I frankly don't care one way or the other because I'm employed and I do what I do very, very well. I have no desire to go to Med-Surg. So for me, it was a no for me. For you, if it's something that you feel like, okay, you know what, I want to have that experience in Med-Surg before I go to a specialty, then you do you. That is perfectly fine, and that's actually wonderful. But for me personally, I know that I cannot stand Med-Surg at all. If I cannot stand a certain patient population or a certain specialty area, or because Med-Surg is a specialty within itself if you think about it. If I can't stand it, then why would I want to subject myself to that and not do my patients service by being in an area that I do not care for? So again, if it's a stepping stone to get somewhere else, then yes, do what you have to do. But if it's not a stepping stone and you feel like, oh my gosh, I could not stand Med-Surg, then, and you don't have to do it, don't do it. It's just that simple. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's the biggest thing that people want to know. Should I go to Med-Surg first? And my answer is, do you? But for me, it was a no. And I have no regrets, no issues. I don't feel like I've lost anything. I feel like in what I do, we did what I needed to learn to take care of my patients. And anytime I've needed to, this is something else that comes up. Anytime you have something that is truly out of your scope, something that is very Med-Surg-ish and you work in a different kind of area, then phone someone, call someone, use your peers. They can help you. I've even called at times when I was a new nurse. there were times where my peers wouldn't help me. So I called the house supervisor. I was like, I don't know how to do this. I'm a new nurse. I've been a nurse for about, let's say 8 months. And I've never seen this situation before. And that house supervisor came and helped me. Now, again, depends on who's working. But I've always found help when I needed it. We never let a patient die or let a patient get worse off because I did not know what to do. So that's something I want to impress upon you, that definitely feel like you have help and resources. And if you feel like you don't, then maybe you evaluate the hospital that you're working for and evaluate what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're taking care of patients and they rely on you to keep them alive and well. I always want my patients to be just as good, if not better than when I got them from the previous shift. So hopefully this has helped some of you all and making your decision about what you should do. Again, this is not research based. This is not factual. This is strictly my opinion and what I did. And again, I have no qualms, no issues, no regrets about being an OB nurse with no med-surg experience. Or let's just say at this point in time, very limited med-surg experience. I have worked med-surg for about a good maybe month. If you add up all my experience together over 16 years, it's been about a month that I've been in med-surg. But the thing is, when I do go to med-surg, I do learn things and I do go there to learn. And I am humbled again, like I said, that, you know what, nope, this is definitely not the area for me, but these patients have to be taken care of nonetheless. So thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. If you have questions or something you would like me to do a video on, please leave that either below, or you can go to my IG. My IG handle will be either here, or you can go to the banner at the top and find my page there, and it will take you directly there. I will also leave my business email in the box below, and you can email me directly any questions that you may have regarding things like this of this nature, or if you happen to want to know more about my nursing journey. There's plenty of nursing videos on here. Also, I am tutoring now. I am a nurse mentor as well. So therefore, if you are interested in those type of services, please email me in the business email that's listed below. Until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.